All right, so we said we're going to start by 12 noon, Nigerian time, and so it is 12 noon Nigerian time. So it's good afternoon in Nigeria. It's still good morning in Ghana, as it is. So we welcome everybody to this webinar today that we're going. Yes, I want everybody to tell us three things in the chat room. Your organization, your name, organization, your existing role, and what your expectations are for this session. So if you don't mind, please let's all go into the chat room. Thank you very much, everyone. Mary, your hands are up. What are you trying to say something? Everybody, let's go to the chat room, please. All right, everybody, let us go to the chat room. Tell me your name, your organization. I'm Dr. Orlando Olumide Odejide. I work for Training Heights and I also for uh I work for Training Heights and for A4S. I was distracted. Mary's and that was up was distracting me. And I do a lot of training and I also audit organizations relative to different ISO standards. And what else about me? I'm a sustainability professional. Over the last, I think, since COVID year, yes, since COVID year, I've spent a lot of my time also just doing sustainability, focused around both SDG and also ESG. So, and it's my pleasure to be here as it is. So that's about me. Thank you very much, Mustafa. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's definitely great to have someone like yourself on the call. And please, as we go through this session, if you've got thoughts, you've got opinion, whatever it is, so please drop them in the chat room. So I want to hear from everybody. Um, I want to hear from everybody. Please share your let us know who you are so that we will help our lead facilitator today, so that she will have some context around the types of people that are here on this call. We've been having these sessions for the past 1 year. I will put up a presentation in a minute, and you will see the list of some of these things. No, not 1 year. I take that back. We have been having some of these things for about 2 years. So I'll put up a presentation in 1 minute, and you'll see some of the things that we've been doing relative to this. Okay, so who else? Who else? Who else? Everybody, please, in the chat room. In the chat room, everybody, please, please. I want to hear from you, everyone. Okay. So everybody, please, in the chat room, if you do not mind, everyone. Your name, your organization, your role, and what your expectations are for this particular session. Your name, your role, and what exactly your expectations are for this session. Can I get from a couple of others so that we can go ahead? The idea is just to give us context. Once again, Ife, thank you very much. Hey, Dose Gatti, Dose, how you doing? Thank you very much. You're always attending the things that we do, so we appreciate you. We really do. Mary Adibaya, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mary. Thank you for being here. And of course, all of us are also going to get the opportunity to be able to share our own thoughts and our opinion relative to this particular uh, this particular standard that we're looking at today. Okay, I'll say a couple of things. First is for me to just I'm going to try to quickly introduce our organization. We are the organizers. We're called A4S, and we are the organizers of this particular session. And we're going to do it very quickly because we're mindful of the time of everybody here. I know people have to get back into the back at work. For some people, it's lunchtime about now, and that's why we kind of fix it for this time as it is. So once again, can I get two or three others as I will then continue with the session? Okay, can I get two or three others so that I can continue with my bit of today? So before I bring our facilitator in, I want to speak to us about a very interesting ISO standard, everybody. So if you are available or if you're online, everybody, can you type ISO 59004, everybody? All right, ISO 59004. I want you to type it put it, type it into Google. What exactly is that ISO standard and what is it for? ISO 59004. What is that standard and what is it for? And what does that standard have to do with the session that we are having today? ISO 59004. As an organization, our specialization is ISO standards. I said that's what we do. We can almost call ourselves global experts when it comes to actually not almost, we are actual global experts when it comes to ISO standards. Um, we even have ISO standard for how you should eat, how you should sleep, how you should do everything. We do ISO standards for any and everything. And that's what we do as an organization. And that's what people know us for as it is. So, once again, it's great to have everybody here. So, please go into the chat room. What do you think about that particular standard, 59004? The opposite of a circular economy is linear economy. So, who else is going to help me? I also want somebody to help me in the chat room. Let's do this very quickly before I bring Lydia up. Let's do this very quickly. Everybody, what is the circular economy and how does it differ from a linear economy? So can I get some people's you can switch on your microphone for a minute, or you can decide that you're just going to type into the chat room, because I know that it's always easier to just leverage the chat room in itself. So any and everybody, I want everybody to tell me quickly. I'm asking for two things from everybody. I'm asking for two things from everybody. Number one, what is the use and the value of 59004? ISO 59004. That is my question one, everybody. What is the use of this particular standard, or this group of standards is probably a better way to even put it, because it's more than just one standard. There are actually about four or five of them. And of course, it's very difficult for because this session is a very short session. We cannot go through everything that I even have a presentation completely for this. I'm sure sometime in the future we might all get together to look at this particular series of standards, because it's more than just one standard in itself. But what do you think? I want everybody quickly tell me. I know, right? What do you think this standard is useful for? ISO 59, right? Double 04. What do you think the standard is useful for? What do you think we should be using these standards for, even in our educational system, in our university system, in our master's program? Lydia here is once again, she's a global expert when it comes to some of these things, and I'm sure that as she also takes over, she would also share with us our own thoughts as it is. So, but I want to hear from everybody before we invite our big boss to come on the call. I want to hear from everybody. All right. What do you think this standard is for? What do you think is the value of this standard? And why should people take this particular standard? Also, I was asking linear versus secular. So thank you very much. Some people have started answering me. Esther, thank you. Uh, Yes, so linear is take, make, dispose. Thank you very much for that. While secular is what? What are the three words that also, you said linear is take, make, and then dispose it. What are the other three words that then define secular economy? What are the three words? Anybody? Esther has said here that linear is to take the natural resources, use them to make something, and dispose of them. I like that, right? But what are the other three words that then describe the secular economy? If we say one is take, make, and dispose or waste, Kaima says take, make, waste. What about the others? What about the secular economy? Anybody? What are the three words that also define the secular economy? All right, you've told me the three that define linear, and linear in this instance is the opposite of secular. All right, secular is what it is that our facilitator is going to be speaking about today. So once again, everybody, what will be the three words that define secular? Thank you very much. Does say take, make, and then reuse. Does say thank you very much. Does say Gatti. Thank you. He says take, make. Somebody said recycle. Another said reuse. All right. Yes. Okay. Someone says some people will say use and throw away, but it also says use, fix, and reuse. But different people say these things differently. And I think even at the very heart of what it is that we're doing, especially this particular SDG that we're doing, are these things that we're all talking about. And I think it's great. So once again, confidence says produce, consume, and reuse. I like that. Confidence, I like that. I really do. Produce, consume, and reuse as it is. So once again, that's beautiful. Because of Please keep your thoughts coming. But I'll like to let me just do this in 1 minute. I'll make this very quick, because I even am eager to bring our facilitator here on the call. So this is who we are, and we're A4S, and we do this for different people. Sorry, 1 second. I think let me just switch something on my computer in 1 second. All right. Okay, give me one. All right, good. So, hold on. Okay. Right. Okay. Give me 1 second. Yes. Okay. Uh, right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah. So Lydia will come up in a couple of minutes, and once again, she will share our own thoughts. about what it is that we're talking about, I just want to quickly talk about who we are to give context to some of the things that we're doing here. So, and I will share some of these presentations with you as it is. So, this is who we are. We're A4S. We do ISO. That's our job. We do ISO in the morning. In the afternoon, you can see SDG banner behind me. It's pretty much key for us. And I've got some of my colleagues that are on the call, just like Samuel in Ghana, Esther here in Nigeria, Faith in Abuja, who are all sustainability experts. But these are the 6 things that we do as an organization, and I'm happy to share that this with you. This is me, my AI, the AI version of me. Hopefully, I don't get as big as this, or maybe as it is. So once again, I'll quickly do this. We work for different organizations. We do a lot of also around health and safety, environment, and all sorts of other things in here. These are some of my colleagues who are the organizers of these meetings as it is. And of course, I've got one of my partners. So we've got colleagues in different places. Some of them are in Ghana, some of them are here in Nigeria. They even have a few of them even in Kenya as it is. So they are the ones that drive a lot of these things. So we'll share this with you. So look at some of our work on that we put on academia and even on our website. So look at the various papers that we've written, and these are peer-reviewed papers. These are non-plagiarized papers that we've written around sustainability, and where we keep sharing our thoughts and our opinion. And also, if you look on to my right, you see that there's so many. We've been doing SDG, everybody. SDG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody, can you see 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11? Right? We've also done a couple of other things, and right now we're on 12, and the majority of these things are on YouTube. I think we've had problems with our recording once or twice, but majority of these things are actually on YouTube as it is. So you can go onto YouTube, you'll find a lot of this. My colleagues will also share the links and the links for both the papers and even this. I will share this presentation. Today, I will not be able to go through this because of our time, but this is really something everybody should look into. So maybe someday when we get the chance, myself and Lydia will sit and will now have this training properly for organizations. And who knows, we might get some institution to sponsor it. We will do it for free as it is. So but once again, there's no time for me to do all this. So everybody, with a big round, massive round of applause, we'll bring in Lydia now as she'll share our own thoughts. She'll provide our own opinion around how can nations in Africa, that's really what the focus is. How can African nations ensure that we're not following a linear type approach to our economy, that we're following a secular approach to economy? How do we ensure that we're doing sustainable and responsible both production and even on the consumption side as it is? You also have the opportunity, if you've joined us, we're going to share something with you, which is like a foundation a foundation set of questions, and you can generate your CPD for this. So everybody, so that I don't take too much of your time, a round of applause as we bring in our dearest trainer. Also, please look for her on LinkedIn. There are a couple of Lydia Oseis on LinkedIn, so you might mix it, and that's why I have this. So everybody, if you go on LinkedIn, please look for her and follow her, and I'm certain that be appropriately educated. So once again, a round of applause for Lydia. Lydia, over to you. Thank you very much for being here and to agreeing to take this session. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Hi, Dr. Lando. Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly, Lydia.
Okay, so the laptop camera is quite bad, and also to save the bandwidth, I'll use my audio more, but this is just to introduce myself. So this is Lydia, and really nice to meet everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to be on this call. So I think you've done a lot of the introduction, and you've done a lot of, setting the pace. before we dive into the discussion. So I will not do too much. Like you said, the foundation for me, so it seems I don't have so much to do. But can I share my screen now?
Yes, please go ahead, please. Yes.
Okay, okay. So without further ado, I think I'll just share my screen because of time so that we can dive right into the discussion. I'll turn off my video now. I hope everyone has seen me. So this is Lydia. Anyway. Okay, please just a minute. Okay. Sharing your screen can sometimes be. Okay. Can you see my screen now? Please, can you see my screen before I dive
I can
into
see
it?
Yes,
your
I
screen, but
can
what I
please.
have right now is just your Zoom. We can just see the Zoom window. We can't see the presentation. Now it's come up,
Okay.
and you might want to do it full screen so that we can all see.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So, but you might want to brilliant, brilliant. I think this works.
Pardon?
I think this works. I think this is fine.
Okay, okay. So thank you once again. And I'm Lydia Osei, Senior Officer for Environment and Social at Miniplast Limited. So Miniplast is a plastic product manufacturing and recycling company, and we've been in existence for over 30 years. So it's a privilege to share some insights on this very important topic. And you can see my image, right? We are looking at the Sustainable Development Goals. So it's very important that we at least use the image to set the pace. And today we are looking at SDG 12, which is talking about responsible consumption and production. So I'll dive right into it and we can all move forward. Okay, so at the end of the day, my objective is that we are able to understand what the SDG goal, what the SDG 12 means and its expectations, and to be able to understand what role we play in ensuring that we are contributing positively to um, environmental sustainability. So you have a role to play, I have a role to play, our organizations have a role to play. So I hope to meet your expectations at the end of this presentation. So this is our outline. We'll first look at the SDG overview. We are looking at the Sustainable Development Goals, so it's important at least we have a brief understanding of what they are before we dive right into our goal number 12 and its expectations. We are also going to look at why it matters, some challenges and barriers to its implementation, some initiatives happening across the world, and actionable strategies to reduce waste, drive circularity, and rethink consumption and production. And then we'll conclude and finally have questions and answers. Okay, so I had a question that I wanted us to, to talk about to set the pace for the discussion. Since we are looking at production and consumption, obviously the concept of resources coming because we produce resources, we consume resources. So this is a very let's do this short exercise. I know we've done a lot of exercises, but let's do this because I want to understand what we also think about this. So Professor Zimmerman is an economist. If you've done environmental economics, I'm sure you've heard about Zimmerman. So he says that resources are not, they become. So my question is, do you agree or disagree? Let's discuss. So I just want to like one or two responses before we dive right into it. What do we think about this concept that resources are not, they become? And when we look at the concept of resources, we are saying that resources are anything that can be used to support life and meet human needs. So at what point do they become a resource? Is it when they are still underground or they are still in their natural state? Or is when we add value to them? Or even just the perception of it? So, Dr. Orlando, do we have some responses? All right.
Yes, Lydia, right. So, okay, hold on. Okay, now I don't have. Okay, it's still people were still clapping for you. All right, so can anybody share their thoughts in the chat room very quickly? So, I mean, I was thinking about it, Lydia, like, okay, that resources are not, they become. Okay, so from my perspective, I'll say so. Someone also has an opinion, but from my perspective, I'll say that well, the resource in itself must exist at some initial state, isn't it? And then it is transformed, then it becomes a, should I say, a transformed or a better or advanced set of resources. But I think, I mean, they will come from somewhere, but for use, it might need to go through all sorts of other things. Samuel says that resources are not fixed. They become resources only when humans find a use for them. Okay, so maybe sand
Yeah.
somewhere might not be useful or rocks, because something is only a resource if it has value, right? So that
Yeah.
changes the
Yeah.
concept of the thing, right? Dr.
Yes.
Gatti says
Yeah.
it depends on the kind of resources you're referring to. Faith says resources are created by humans, for human needs. I would like to say resources become important when we add value. I think so. That word value is recurring. Also, I concur, implies that humans are expected to discover them, and discovery become in when you've discovered them. So victory is saying that it's more around discovery, and in any form they are resources. Okay, brilliant. So I think
Okay.
those are some of the
Yeah.
responses. Thank you. All right, Lydia, go ahead.
Okay, so these are quite some very interesting pointers, and I'm glad that at least there's a thinking around value addition, that resources they become a resource to us if they are able to meet a certain human need for us. So that is where the concept of production and consumption comes in, because humans have needs, and our needs needs to be satisfied, and these needs are satisfied through the consumption of resources and the exploitation of these resources can either have positive or negative impact on us. So thank you so much for your contribution. I think we'll dive deeper into it as we move through the discussion. So what are the sustainable development goals, right? But for the benefits of those who do not know about it, there are 17 global goals that have been adopted by the UN member states in 2015. It was adopted in 2015 as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. So the 17 goals, they carry their key environmental and social issues happening globally. And the goals are set to manage these issues and to achieve the objective of ending poverty, protecting the planet, and also ensuring prosperity for all. So they are for our benefits, and we need to also know where we can contribute to make it more effective. And interestingly, as of 2025, the UN started saying that about 35% of these SDG targets are showing moderate progression, and half of them, nearly half, are lagging, and 18% have also regressed since 2015. Now, there are lots of initiatives happening across the globally. We have people reporting in line with the SDG, in line with the SD goals, right? We have companies reporting, okay, goal number one, this is what we've done. Goal number five, there are lots of initiatives happening. So the question is that why are we not being able to meet this target of 2030? I mean, that is 15 years, and we are still like 35, only 35% of these goals are on track. and by on track, they're even saying that it is moderate progression. So we've not achieved a very significant progress across all the 17 goals, but we are doing a lot, which is very clear. It tells us that we need to do more to be able to meet these goals. Okay, now diving into our main discussion, which is looking at responsible consumption and production. The goal is looking at how we use resources, making sure we are able to produce and consume in a way that protects the people, protects the environment, and also ensure what sustainability. The concept of sustainability is simply the ability of the current generation to be able to use our resources, or to be able to use these resources without compromising the ability of future generations to also what meet theirs, right? Looking at where we stand currently, we are saying that the rate of production, or even the practice of production and consumption, is contributing to 50% of the global GHG emissions, which is clear from the climate change issues that we're experiencing. 90% of biodiversity loss. Of course, we need to satisfy human needs. So land to be cleared, to make way for urbanization, to make way for industrialization. All of these affect the virgin lands, right? That is why we have regulators ensuring that, okay, whenever you clear a particular land to carry out any activity, there's also the restoration plan to be able to get that land back on track if it is possible, and if it's not, like an environmental damage. And over 90% of global water stress is also caused by our need for, they are caused by our human needs. Now in Ghana, we are experiencing some water pollution happening from illegal mining. And I think last year or so, we had one of the water resource coming up with a communique that, okay, the rate at which they are treating the water is very high, and now like they are unable to serve water across various communities, because no matter the treatment process, you are not able to get the water to acceptable limits. Now, what happens is that more machines will be procured to be able to treat the water to acceptable limits, which will now have impact on the economic aspect or the price of the water. So the environmental damages we experience, or the environmental pollution that we keep on contributing to, they have an economic impact on us, and we need to be mindful. In view of this goal is looking at, okay, what can we do to reduce waste? It's looking at waste reduction. It's looking at using resources wisely, because we can't say that, okay, we want to preserve the resources, so we won't mine, we won't exploit the natural resources, we won't grow as we won't grow globally. We won't do it. We are just going to look at the natural resources and not add value to it. No, it's not going to happen. That is why there's the concept of responsible consumption and production. So we are looking at the goal is also looking at promoting recycling and circular economy. And I like the fact that Orlando sets the pace for us with what circular economy is the continual use of resources. And I think confidence also made it so simple for us to understand. You produce, you consume, and then you reuse, right? So the circular economy concept is about, okay, what value are we taking away and creating our value chain, so that we don't end up producing more waste than we need to. And also, it's also looks at promoting recycling, and there are so many initiatives coming up in terms of plastic recycling, especially. But there's not only plastic recycling; we have textile, we have all other waste that can be. We can add value to different types of waste, and be able to also manage the impacts that these waste have on landfill sites. The goal is also calling for making more sustainable choices in how we live and do business. So at the end of the day, the decisions that you and I make also contribute to our need, or also contribute to our impact on this particular goal. Now, why does it matter? It matters because, one, we are using more than the earth can renew. Why are we saying that? Now, there's an institution, they are called the Global Footprint Network. It's a leading authority behind the Earth Overshoot Day calculation. So, Earth Overshoot is basically the point at which human demand for ecological resources exceed the Earth's ability to regenerate these resources within a year. So they are saying that we are consuming 70% more than the Earth can regenerate. So if that is the case, then what can we do to also ensure that if that is the case, then the question is that at what point do we say that enough is enough? Let's look at the current resources, or let's look at the current resources that we have within the system already. What can we do to add value? And that is where the concept of circular economy comes in. The more we deplete these resources, right, the more we experience all the environmental issues that we are facing, the climate change, the resource scarcity, the increase in goods and services, all of these have an impact on us. The second thing is that overconsumption and overproduction creates waste. Now, in environmental economics, we'll say that the more resources are taken from the environment, the more waste is what's created. Okay, and waste itself is a resource, right? But we don't need to overexploit the natural environment more, right? We can also look at systems where we can reuse and we can regenerate or even repurpose some of the value and some of the products that we already have. So it's not just about, okay, it's not just about taking from the environment alone. It's about also looking at within your value chain what you can do to manage your waste. Okay, so let's look at it. And interestingly, we are saying that 1/3 of food produced globally is wasted. Research is saying that 1/3 of food produced globally is wasted, yet millions go what? Hungry. We have people, we have hunger in the system, which is also an SDG, which is also an SDG, SD goal, right? So there's hunger in the system. By the end of the day, we are overproducing and we are wasting what we've already produced, and this is also affecting somebody out there. So let's be mindful of that. Now, it matters because is also a major driver for climate change and biodiversity loss. Urbanization, we are clearing a lot of greens to make way for industrialization, to make way for urbanization. We all know the impact of these. We all know the impact on a ozone layer, which subsequently leads to climate change. Okay, so these urbanization, this industrialization, this population increase will all contribute to the increase in the greenhouse gases, right? So we are all in it. It's a very important discussion, and it's very important that we understand the role that we play in contributing to the impacts of some of these things, right? So climate change, the effects of it, we are experiencing it all, the droughts, the flooding, the natural resources, the natural disasters, everything regarding climate change, we're experiencing it. It's not new to us. Now, farmers cannot even predict their dry and their wet seasons because there was a certain system they were working with. Now that system has been distorted in a way. And this is also leading to food wastages because they are not able to harvest on time, or something happens, they are using too many fertilizers. All of these have what impact on us. Okay, and we need to be mindful of that. And we look at the biodiversity loss, clearing of lands. Any land that is clear, you have resource, we have fauna on it, we lose them. Okay, we lose them at this rate. What can we do? That is a question we need to be reflecting on. The other reason why it matters is that it's a business and what economic imperative, right? Wasteful supply chains is cost. Okay, the more you produce and consume, and then the more waste you have, the more money you lose. So it's not just about taking from the natural resource. It's not just about taking from the environment alone. You need to also think about the business aspect of your organization. Okay, sustainability is the balance between what environmental, social, and economic factors. So if you want to be sustainable as a company or as an organization, we are looking at, okay, how do we balance the environmental aspect to the social aspect whilst also being in existence as a company, because you need money to run your operations. So it's not just about the environmental aspects of it, but you also need to look at the economic aspects of it as well. So it's very, very important. And finally, it matters because it's an equity and justice issue. We have people consuming more, the continents that consume more, or even let me use this example of fast fashion. In Ghana, we have a whole market, it's called Kantamanto, that is known for the fast fashion, or is known for receiving a lot of textile or a lot of clothing waste, okay, other waste from different countries, right? That is the hub for it. While some of the clothes can be reused, people can wear it again and all of that, most of them go to waste. So I would say the developed countries, they wear their dresses or their attires, and when they are tired of it, or when they overproduce and they're not getting, they dump all of them back into Ghana, so, or into Africa. So is more of an equity and what's and a justice issue. So even in France, they've criminalized fast fashion. So that because it is creating a lot of environmental and what social damages. Now the goal is looking at five main focus. The focus one is looking at halving global food waste and reducing food losses. We have the SD goal onwards, the hunger. So this is critical, right? And we are looking at 12.4 is also looking at environmentally sound management of chemicals and waste. Now, every company, now look at because of the systems in place, because of EPA and other regulators, every company has a chemical waste management procedure or hazardous waste procedure, just to ensure that we are not contaminating or we are not polluting the environment. And the another focus 12.5 is looking at substantially reducing waste generation through prevention, reduction, and recycling. And this is also a concept that has currently gained a lot of grounding, and see a lot of people are going into plastic recycling, especially because that is my field. That's why I'm able to talk so much about it, because of the exposure I have in there. But I know that in other industries, people are also doing more. 12.6 is looking at encouraging companies to adopt sustainable practices and also report. Okay, so in 12.8 is looking at ensuring people have relevant information for sustainable lifestyle. So the goal focus is saying that if we are able to do these things, then we can, move the goal 12 into we can get a lot of progress in goal number 12. These five things, and these five things, you and I find ourselves in there somewhere. Even even at home, sometimes you cook and most of it go to wastages. So you need to apply that circular economy thinking at home as well, that when you cook and you're unable to consume everything, at least you keep it in the fridge so that you can eat it again. Or you don't cook more than you need, or you don't dish out food more than you need. Because any any waste, any food wastage that you experience or you contribute to, you need to think about somebody experiencing hunger somewhere in another country. I'm not even mentioning any countries. Okay. Now these are the focus, right? This is where we want to get to but we are facing challenges. We are unable to get there. Why is that? There are challenges and barriers, right? We are facing the linear economy dominance, which Dr. Orlando led at the beginning, towards a linear economy, the take you make and then the dispose concept, where you use resources and then they end up being waste. Look at these bottles and waste in these water bodies, right? It's an eyesore. We are facing a lot of issues. There are policy enforcement gaps as well. We have limited circular economy infrastructure. What that means is that we have a lot of people going into circular economy initiatives, but then plastic recycling centers are not easily accessible. Per my experience in Ghana, the market linkages are not so effective, or even they're existent, but they are not so high. So you have people wanting to dispose of their plastics in an environmentally friendly way, but they don't know where to take it to. So they end up with putting it into their trash or into their waste bins. In terms of short-term profits, when it comes to circular economy products, right? It takes time for people to get used to it. So sometimes you may produce, for example, recycled plastic chairs or recycled or upcycled clothes, right? But people are not interested in it because they think it's made of waste. So it takes time to be able to get grounding, which is something that you need to look at. And sometimes to organizations see circular designs or circular concepts as expensive because they are not able to see the economic benefits within a short time. So some of these projects or some of these activities that we do in our companies, most of it is to create awareness, not necessarily to create benefits or to create economic benefits. But if it is business wise and you want to go into recycled products, and then you need to be aware that the demand for it is not so high. And even if there's demand for it, people, the cost aspect so needs to be taken into consideration as well. In terms of access to finance, it's also a barrier. People want to go into these initiatives to manage waste, all of these things. People want to go into it, but getting the finance or getting funding to be able to launch a project like that becomes what a challenge. So this is something that is also hindering the progress of the goal number 12. Consumer habits, you and I, we are corporates. We want convenience. We want fast fashion. We want everything made from raw materials. We don't want anything made from waste, right? So sometimes our habits, it also contributes to the goal implementation and lack of awareness. People do not know that their lifestyle has environmental impacts. They are not aware. So even the simple concept of eating what you are able to consume within a sitting, somebody thinks that, oh, it's just one plate of jollof rice. It's not that deep, right? But then when you think about it, there's somebody also experiencing hunger somewhere. So you need to be moderate. We need to value moderation. That's the concept. We need to value moderation and not resort to over consumption. Okay. Now, there are so many initiatives happening across the world to be able to tackle this goal, contribute, not necessarily tackle, but contribute to the progress of this goal. We have the Ghana Zero Waste and Circular Economy Roadmap, which is a national framework launched to promote waste reduction, recycling, composting, and then reuse. We have the West Africa Regional action plan on plastic waste management and circular economy, which is also looking at three critical areas. They're looking at policy, they're looking at private sector financing, and they're looking at capacity building. So these are three areas that, and it is being run by ECOWAS, WIMO, and then World Bank. And we have the Global Plastic Treaty, which is looking at creating a legally binding document to manage plastic waste. And we have the Green Commodities Program, which is looking at the Ghana's cocoa sector. Cocoa is one of our raw materials, and looking at the concept of environmental degradation and all of these things. They are looking at the concept of putting in some systems to make sure that the cocoa sector is being managed, and then we are not abusing or using the forest resources irresponsibly. In Nigeria, there's also the national ban on single-use plastics. I don't know how the implementation is going, but I know that it's a challenge. But just taking that initiative is highly commendable. And also, there's a renewable energy master plan, which is also being implemented in Nigeria to also help offset the great impact or to help offset the reliance on non-renewable energy options. All of these also tie into climate change initiatives. We have France's ultra fast fashion law, which is looking at ensuring that fast fashion is not a lifestyle in France because they're experiencing a lot of environmental impact with regards to this fast fashion. People are just all over the place shopping clothes they don't even need. And this ends up being what waste in another country, like I mentioned earlier on the justice issue. And then we have green investment also targeting supply chain. Now, investment is not only looking at, okay, what are the profits aspects of this, what are the economic benefits of your business or initiative? They are looking at it from environmental and social lens, and the social includes your supply chain. So they want to make sure that they are managing the supply chain aspects so that resources are not being overly consumed or pollution is not the lifestyle of organizations, and then we are able to manage the resources we have in a very sustainable manner. Okay, so I've talked a lot, but now we are looking at what are the strategies, right, that we can take to reduce waste, drive circularity, and rethink consumption and production. In terms of the strategies, we are looking at three different aspects for businesses, for institutions, and for individuals. So for businesses, we can look at the concept of eco-design, right? Designing products for durability, repairability, and recyclability. So even in Ghana, there's a water, what's it called? A company, right? They're into this bottled water production. And sometimes the bottled water is sealed with extra wrapper or extra plastic to protect it. So they launched it recently to remove that that seal from it, because that is also waste. So the concept of sustainable production and consumption is not just looking at the end product, right? From the product design, you're thinking about circularity. What can we do to ensure our products is durable, or our products are durable, to ensure that our products are easily recyclable? Okay, so it's not just about the concept of waste, it's about the whole chain, the whole life cycle of your operations. And then we have waste dates and life cycle assessments. So this is something that you can do at your organization. You identify hotspots to reduce waste and optimize the use of materials. So if you're able to do this, then you're able to determine, or you're able to come up with, waste is money. Okay, the more waste you produce, the more money you are losing. So if you are business minded, you are thinking about how can I save cost by ensuring that I've put in systems to manage the waste within your product life cycles or within your operations. So we have the closed loop supply chain, which is looking at integrating recycled input and building take back programs. So we have companies that are into using recycled products as part of what their raw materials. At Mini Plus, we have two types of products. We have products that are made from raw materials and we have products that are made from more plastic waste. So day in, day out, every week we recycle tons of plastics from the environment. And then these plastics serve as what resource for us to be able to make some of our products. The Take Back program, I quite remember some years back, there was this water company. I think I engaged them. It wasn't on a professional basis, it was just a friendly chat. And I think I was asking them that, okay, every day we produce boxes, or I'll say very large quantities of water in a day. Why don't we set up structures so that at least when we use our bottles, we can take it back to you? They were like, they can't do everything as a company. So somebody else also needs to see it as an opportunity to also make money. So they'll focus on producing. Somebody else also think about how to take it back for it to be a resource for them. I don't know how justified that is, but when you think about it, at the end of the day, what's it called? Jobs are created from this, economic or livelihoods are improved from this, but then that is also their concept, but that's also their thinking. Now we are looking at sustainable procurements, sourcing from ethical and sustainable suppliers. Now, procurement and supply chain is a very critical aspect of sustainability now. Because at the end of the day, if you don't check the people that are supplying you with your goods and your services, they may end up causing a lot of damage to you, reputation-wise and even cost-wise. Okay, so it's important that you are so when you're sourcing from people that have their documents in place, it means that they are also being monitored or regulated by a body. So that means that they'll be doing the right things. And as a company, you want to be associated with companies or individuals that are doing the right things. Okay, so this is something that we need to look at. In terms of digital tools, we can use tech to track waste, improve forecasting, and optimize inventory. Now, at the beginning, Orlando once again mentioned the ISO 59004, which is a standard on circular economy implementation. Now, these concepts or these pointers, they are all tied to the concept of circular economy. So if you're a business that wants to advance into this, want to think about circularity right from your product design to your manufacturing, to your product manufacturing, to even consumption, to even life after consumption, then you need to you can get in touch with A4S to help you put all of these into perspective so that you can get value from your production process through the ISO 59004. Now, for governments and institutions, what can we do? What can they do? It's all about policy and regulatory frameworks, enforcing bans, incentives, and extended producer responsibility. There are lots of systemic issues or systemic barriers that we face in advancing some of the concepts of circular economy. But then it's not too late. Day out, when we meet as to engage on these issues, the concept of policies come in. It's also one key area that the regional action plan by West Africa is looking at, or by ECOWAS is looking at in terms of policies. How can we enforce bans, incentives? Where does the concept of extended producer responsibility come in? So these are discussions that are ongoing. And if you're in the government and you're in the government institution, then your voice is really critical in drafting some of these policies and ensuring the implementation of these policies as well. In terms of infrastructure investments, we are looking at supporting co-composting, recycling, and eco-industrial parks. So these are investment opportunities that companies and institutions and governments can also get into because there are a lot of food waste happening. We eat every day, so obviously you make a lot of waste from food. So if we have a whole composting site, it also helps. We shouldn't just have one or two. In Ghana, we have one or two or three. But then I think this is also an opportunity. So the goal or one of the objectives of this training is that for us to also think about what opportunity can we have, or what opportunity can we deduce from this concept of responsible production and consumption, or responsible consumption and production. So the opportunities within the value chain, and the opportunities, like I said, they don't only come at the end of the product use, like after disposal. Even before disposal, there are opportunities. Okay. It's something we need to think about. And now there are also a lot of investments in the system, also ready to invest in some of these eco projects. So if you're into it, then this is the right time for you to launch or to even start. In terms of public education, it's also something that government institutions can also take advantage on, is to also launch campaigns, curriculum updates, promote sustainable consumption habits. Now, this year we had trainings for circular economy. Sorry, we had trainings for waste pickers as part of our project, our sustainability projects. We trained a lot of incoming and existing waste pickers, like over 300 of them. And in one of the sessions, we're looking at some of the social issues, some of some of the perceptions around waste management and all of that. And an interesting concept or an interesting contribution came up. One man was like, okay, in schools, right, in the primary schools, in the SHS, they use waste picking to serve as a punishment for students. So if you are late or you disrespect the teacher, they'll tell you to go and pick waste or to go and pick around the facility. The concept is maybe to clean the environment over, but you create a certain perception for the students. They now think that, okay, waste collection or is like a punishment or is the meaning. All of these things contribute to the perception around waste. So it is something that we also need to think about. Is there a better way of punishing students without making the concept of waste picking, becoming like a punishment for them? I don't know. It's a food for thought for us all. And finally, we can look at investing in circular economy projects. Circular economy project, they combine environmental, social, and economic aspects. So if you're an organization, you need to, and you want to advance your circularity efforts, then you're on the right track. It's an area that is not going to die anytime soon, because we produce waste every single day because we are consuming things. So the concept of circular economy also has potential impact on communities and on livelihoods. Okay, so there's a concept that we can look at if we have the opportunity to implement projects in our communities, in our environment, or even within wherever we have the opportunity to implement project. And one project I'll recommend is circular economy project, either tackling plastic, clothing, food waste. There are different types of waste, e-waste. All of these are circular economy projects. And finally, for households and individuals, what can we do? What we can do is to buy less and choose well. We should always prioritize quality, local and ethically made goods. Okay, let's consume what we can take at a time. You don't buy clothes just because just because you have the money in abundance, right? You also need to look at um the ethical. When you're buying, you need to think think ethically. It's not just about using your wealth or anything of that sort. It's about quality so that we manage waste. Okay, and if we are not using some clothes, instead of throwing it in the dustbin, we can always, you know, donate them if they are in good shape. what you and I can also do is to share and reuse models, right? Car sharing, if it's possible, clothes. Some mothers even pass on clothes from their grandma to their daughters, and all of these things are interesting concepts, right, within our space. So you don't only think about the big things. It could be as simple as donating a clothes to your sister or to a cousin or to even a friend. And then waste sorting and composting. So it's also what we can also do by sorting our waste and giving back. So you segregate your waste, your plastics, your clothing, or all your type of waste where you can segregate, and then you give it back. You give it to somebody who need it, or somebody or a waste picker who would use it to also earn something for a living. And then support circular economy businesses or support circular businesses. So you choose companies that repair, refill, or even upcycle. I recently got an upcycled bag and I'm so excited about it. So sometimes when you do some of these things, it makes you feel like, okay, you're contributing to something. Because at the end of the day, it's the little contributions around that really make the impact. So one company cannot save us from plastic pollution. Two companies cannot save us. Three individuals cannot save us. But together, if we keep on doing what we are doing by being sustainable in our thinking and our practices, then we can actually get value. And finally, we are saying that supports local waste entrepreneurs and circular economy startups. When they come to you for your waste, you don't insult them. In the trainings, when we're discussing social issues, we realized that one of the key things that they talked about, the waste speakers mentioned, was on stigmatization. The fact that they pick waste, you have people disrespecting them. They are faced with discrimination and all kinds of attitude. This is not healthy. Okay, not this they contribute to a very significant aspect of the whole value chain, the waste management value chain. So we need to support them and not respect, but rather empower them. When we see them, we encourage them we encourage them so that at the end of the day they feel more empowered to do this business and also think about advancing within the chain. In conclusion, what are we saying? What we are saying is that responsible production is not just about reducing harm, it's about reimagining our value. It's about creating a system where people, planet, and profits thrive together. Sustainability, where environmental, social, and economic principles, or there's a balance between these principles. We are not saying that don't mind, we are not saying that don't use resources from the environment, but the concept is what responsible. Illegal mining is unregulated, so it has environmental impacts and social what damages. Responsible mining is regulated, so you have life of mine. That is why they don't mine within 1 year and just close down. The life of mine is spread across a certain number of years, so that you mine in a very responsible manner. So the concept of responsible production and consumption is not just about being environmentally cautious, but it's about thinking about people, about the social impact of your activities and long-term impact. So thank you so much. And this brings me to the end of the discussion. Now it's time for questions and answers. Thank you so
All right,
much.
thank you very much, Lydia. A round of applause, a round of applause. Lydia, some people are even saying that Dotse is a good friend, is always in a lot of the things that we do. So he says you should share, so you can share your email address or private share it with him or something like that. Thank you very much, Lydia. We've got a couple of questions that are already coming to us. Let me start with the funniest one. So, are you listening, Lydia? Are you capturing them? Let me start with the funniest of them. Are you there? Lydia, are you there?
I am sorry,
Lydia,
I muted. I am.
all right. Okay, good. Number one. if somebody says that this everything you're talking about reminds them of going back to poverty, like that they've worked so hard so that they can have excess in their lives coming from where they're coming from. Now you're now telling them they should use water, they should not use too much water, they should not have too many clothes, they should not waste food. That it's almost like you're sending them back to poverty as it is, and that they don't want to go back to poverty. So that's number one, right?
Okay.
So that
So
so
poverty is lack. Okay, poverty is
no,
lack.
no, you should just capture everything so that you can address all of them
Okay,
simultaneously,
okay.
one after the other. Sorry, right? So that's number one. That this whole thing is reminding them of being poor, and they don't want to be poor any longer. Number two, somebody says, how can we use IT and AI to achieve SDG 12? That's what somebody else has said. Another one is somebody says that which African countries are doing well when it comes to SDG 12. Okay, that's another question, that where the countries that are doing well relative to this. Another one says that okay, the country, they also said that what can we learn from
I didn't hear that
them?
part. I didn't hear you.
Okay,
Please come
they said
again.
is that which African country is doing well with SDG 12, and what can we learn from them? Did you get that?
Yes.
Hello? Did you get that, Lydia?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then somebody is also saying that, that this whole thing around responsible consumption and production is pretty much like it requires a redesign of production systems, right? Or production systems. And most informal economies, most people who don't have a lot of money and producing one thing or the other cannot do some of these so-called sophisticated things that you're talking about, right? So that how are we going to do that? Because the equipments, the way we produce, especially in the lower rung of the economic ladder and the informal sector, we're going to have to redesign both the processes and even the platforms we're using. And how on earth are we going to do that? And lastly, somebody is saying that this is also going to require quite a bit of culture change, right? That there's going to be quite a bit of culture change as it is. So these are some of the five questions. So number one was that this is reminding them of poverty. Number two, how do we leverage IT and AI? Number three, which African countries are doing SDG 12 properly? And then how do we redesign our production systems and processes when we are not the Nestle's of this world? We're not the big manufacturing companies. And then how do we address culture change? Because some of the things you're talking about, they're almost literally anti African culture. And I think there are a couple of others in the chat room, but that these five, maybe you want to take a stab at those ones first.
Okay. Okay, so can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so in terms of the poverty, the poverty is funny because like poverty is lack. Okay, we are not saying that you don't have to eat to your satisfaction or what about it. It's more about moderation. So it's not poverty, it's moderation. Okay, buying what you need, thinking about the environment, being ethical in your thinking. Okay, so we don't want anybody to be poor. In fact, we all want to have money in abundance, in excess, so that we can afford our lifestyle and all of that. But in affording your lifestyle, you need to also think about the impact to society. You need to think about, okay, how do I manage my resources in a way that it's sustainable? Okay, so it's not just about eating in a very small manner or something like that. No, it's more about being moderate in our dealings. Even the investment gurus on Instagram or social media, they will tell you that the more you earn, the likelihood for you to, or the higher you increase your livelihood, and at the end of the day, it does not what sustain your economic balance or your economic stance. So please, we don't want you to go back to poverty, but we just want you to be um, moderate in your dealings, to be more, to think about the environment, okay, to reduce, to eat. Even the eating is just one aspect of it, right? It's about even when you have your clothes and you're no longer wearing them, you shouldn't throw them away. You can donate them. Okay, it's just a secular thinking. It's not to affect your lifestyle in any. You can eat as much as you want, but just be mindful of wastages. That's all we are saying. You can use all the electrical gadgets you want to use, but at the end of the day, you need to ask yourself, do you even need all of that? So it also saves you money at the end of the day, so you don't waste it. Okay, I hope I am clear on that. And also on the concept of IT and AI, we have a lot of, okay, not a lot, because I've not seen a lot so far, but then there's the concept where you have companies or you have individuals setting up, creating apps that you are able to your track your waste management progress, or even you're able to have an idea of your um what's it called, like in terms of when we go for these plastic pickups, you're able to schedule some of them on the app. People can request for pickups on the apps. These are all ways that you can embed technology into the circular economy thinking. Okay, even when you have your machines, you have some machines come with robots to reduce manpower, because of some of the activities can cause ergonomic issues, right? So you introduce robots to be able to handle certain aspects of the operations or the process, right? These are ways that technology can, contribute to the concept of circularity in terms of tracking. And even when you are doing your product design, some of them you obviously use IT to design your products even before you produce. So these are ways that you can use. And in terms of AI, you can use AI you can ask AI to come up to help you, see, or to help you based on the prompt or based on what you are looking out for. If you're looking at opportunities, it can help you come up with opportunities to create value for yourself. It's a lot. We can use the IT and the AI for different aspects. It really depends on what you are looking for. And obviously, you can't do anything, especially when it comes to production, without using computers, because you are going to use apps or softwares to design even before you produce. And AI so can give you more ideas on how best you can even run your business, or how best you can even identify opportunities within the system. In terms of countries that are doing African country, well, I know that Tunisia is one country that is doing well in terms of even attaining their SDG. They've been rated as say 67%, tells you that there are countries that are also doing their best to manage to manage their waste aspects, even looking at the concept of circular economy and all of these things, was really the remedy to irresponsible production and consumption in circular economy, right? So it's also a country that is doing quite well in terms of systems, in terms of policies, to really manage that aspect. And how do we redesign our process? It's really individual based because globally it is large. Nationally, it is even it's a lot. So you look at what you can do within your system. Okay, what can you do within your system? That is where the life cycle assessments come in, right from product design to disposal to even life after disposal, right? It's all about you. So globally, we can't solve this issue of the systemic barriers that we face, but individually, what can you do to manage that aspect of things? Okay, so you need to think about your system. And the ISO 59004 also comes in to help you look at the broader picture. Because like I said, the standard on circular economy. So it also comes in to help you look at the broader picture of things so that you're able to manage or save costs whilst also being environmentally friendly and also socially responsible. And then what else? I think so in terms of culture, culture is a very big issue that we experience, right? And the only way we can resolve or the only way we can manage culture is through awareness creation and education. So if at the end of this call, each and every one of us post our learnings on LinkedIn, something very simple or short to create awareness around responsible production and circular economy, then thinkings or a certain level, an impact can be achieved because we are 50 on a call on average. We are 50 people on this call. So if each and every one of us you know, post something on circular economy, post something on plastic waste management, post something on responsible production and consumption, post something about what they've learned so far, we'll be able to achieve something significant. So in terms of cultural change, it's all about awareness creation. So in education, capacity building, and all of that. So thank you so much. I don't know if I've answered
Brilliant.
everyone.
Yes, brilliant. Thank you very much, Lydia. We appreciate you. Thank you very much for your time. I know a couple of other people have put all sorts of thoughts in the chat room. Somebody said that, people should pass down books. you know the younger ones, they can use the books that the elder ones have used, but a lot of people don't do that. It's almost like everybody wants brand new books, as it is. So please, note, that definitely I agree as it is. Somebody also said that paper straws, wooden spoons, there are other eco-friendly options when it comes to how we package food and how we use everything that is disposable as at today. All right. So once again, thank you very much, Lydia. We appreciate you. Thank everybody. A round of applause. A round of applause for her. She's done an excellent piece of work. That's why we wanted someone like herself, who's the doer of these things, not just somebody who will speak about it generally. She's actually living this as it is and doing it. So we appreciate you once again. Everybody, a round of applause. Lydia, there is Dulce, so we will that wants to contact you. What is the best way for people to reach you, Lydia?
Okay. So I think it's through LinkedIn. I think if you send me a message on, just connect with me on LinkedIn and then we can have a discussion.
Uh,
Okay, LinkedIn is the easiest way to LinkedIn because like LinkedIn is now my best friend. I spend most of my
ah,
time there now. So it's
interesting.
easy to get access to me on LinkedIn. So Orlando, you can
Okay.
share the profile again, the one with my picture and the LinkedIn bio, at least for those who were not here.
Okay. Let me see. Do I have here? Hold on, hold on. Yes, this is thy beautiful self. Okay. Everybody, can you see Lydia?
Wow.
Everybody, can you
Yes.
see her? Lydia, switch on your camera so that we can see your face again. All right, everybody,
Okay.
this is the Lydia we're talking about because there are a couple of others. There's even the Dr. Lydia. I'll say it. So I'm sure you two you soon become a Dr. Lydia too. So, but this is the Lydia that you are referring to because right, the Lydia of Miniplast, the
Yes,
Lydia of Mini Plus. So everybody, you should do that right now. You should connect with her on LinkedIn, and I'm certain that she will respond to you. So that's please do that,
definitely.
right? Do that. I can see a beautiful face in reality. At least before she said that because of bandwidth, but now it's there's no bandwidth conversation now, Lydia. It is you and you alone. There's no bandwidth conversation here. So everybody, please connect with her directly on LinkedIn, and I'm sure she'll be happy to respond to you. So don't say please. If you do that now, I'm sure she would even get the notification since she says that she's quite active on LinkedIn. So if you do that now, I'm sure she'll get the notification. So he says he wants to speak with you. So please do that. Once again, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. Please, you need to start to register. So, Lydia, please register and help us also publicize this. We've got our first annual sustainability summit, everybody. We've got our first annual sustainability summit. Okay. They put the link in the chat room, so please register, tell your friends, tell your cousins, tell your enemies, tell whoever. Just tell everybody this is going to be big. It's going to be happening. It's a virtual conference. It's a virtual conference. It's going to be happening on the 30th of October this year. And we're going to be dealing with both ESG and SDG, thinking about it from an African perspective, everybody. It is going to be both ESG and SDG, thinking about it from an African perspective. It's going to be a big summit. It's going to be about 4 or 5 hours on that day. It's a long one because we do have a lot of people that are going to be there, and we have different speakers, different panel sessions. It's a big deal. We wish we would do it physically, but because of we have people in different countries, and as of today, it just doesn't look feasible. But in the future, we might also be looking to do this in different countries. So yes, this is it, everybody. It's in the chat room, and if you follow us on any of any of the platforms on any of our handles, you will see a lot about this. And of course, we're happy to engage you either as a partner, as a sponsor, whatever in whatever capacity. So please reach out to Esther, based in Nigeria, Faith, based in Nigeria, also in Abuja, and Samuel, who's based in Ghana. Samuel is based in Ghana, so please feel free to reach out to them. It's still 2 months, 3 months down the road, and we'll be happy to work with everybody relative to this. Okay, so once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for taking the time out to be here. We'll share the presentation with you. We'll also share with you the questions you need to have so that generate your you can pass the foundation exam, and you can use this as part of your CPD as it is. So that we're going to come back to you, but we'll share the presentation with you almost immediately. Once again, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for your time, and to the team that put this great piece of work together. We've got an entire team. So I've included I've included the 59004 high level presentation. I've included it in this document. We'll share this with you. And I mean, so if you look at it, and the questions will not go further than that. So these are the great people who put this together. So please let me say a big thank you to all of them, to Samuel, to Oyinka, to Esther, to Mr. Philip Romasele, and every other person, Victory, and all the other people that have done the great work of putting this together. Thank you very much, everyone. We look forward to seeing you on future webinars on Friday next week. So please, we'll come back to you Friday next week. We're doing something on branding. How should you build a great brand, and how should you evaluate the brand for your own organization or your product? So next week Friday is going to be a big deal. We have branding experts that are going to be speaking about how can you fix your brand, how can you do better branding as an organization, and because everything that we do has some ISO connotation to it, we're definitely going to be looking at an ISO standard called 20671. Everybody, ISO 20671. How can you leverage it to ensure that your organization has an excellent brand or builds an excellent brand even into the future in itself? So that's what we're going to be doing next week, Friday. Join us. They'll put the link also for that registration. And next month, we will definitely be doing SDG 13, everybody. Next month, we're definitely doing SDG 13. And we look forward to having all of you as it is. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Have an excellent weekend. And once again, Lydia, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.